What did Jesus do? Why did he have to be killed the way he was? Greetings to you, fellow Catholics and fellow Christian brothers and sisters. This is Father Tulani Skosana. I record this message today in the silent night of Good Friday, the 10th of April 2020, when the Church commemorates the painful death of our Lord Jesus Christ. As Catholics, we hold that Holy Thursday, Good Friday and Easter Vigil are one event. This is what we call the Easter Triduum. This message is therefore not only for Good Friday, but for the entire Holy Triduum, including Easter tomorrow. As I reflect during this Good Friday, I am confronted by the reality of human cruelty. The first reading of Good Friday today, Isaiah chapter 53, verse 14, says that after being beaten up, Jesus was disfigured beyond human recognition. I cannot help but ask myself, why did they do this to Jesus? Why did they kill him? This man did nothing wrong. He was a good man. He was a very good man. Luke chapter 7 verses 11 to 17 tells us a story of a widow whose only son had died. She was left desperate and poor. When Jesus saw this poor woman crying, he went to her and said, "Do not weep." This reveals someone with a good and compassionate heart. He was feeling sorry for her. Then he raised the dead young man and gave him back to the mother. He did not even wait for the woman to ask. He just did it out of his own love and compassion. In John chapter 11 verses 1 to 44, we hear about the story of Lazarus who had died. We are told in verse 33 that when Jesus saw Mary, the sister of Lazarus, weeping, he was so deeply moved and disturbed. And then verse 35 says, then Jesus wept. These two reveal someone with a good and compassionate heart, someone who is able to feel for people. There is also a touching story of a man with a withered hand in Mark chapter 3 verses 1 to 6. The Jews did not want Jesus to heal him because it was Sabbath. But verse 5 says Jesus looked at them in anger and healed that man's hand by force. Why did he become angry? He became angry because those people were selfish. For them, the law was more important than someone else's suffering. Here too we see the good and compassionate heart of Jesus. There are many other good things Jesus did, which we'll not go to today. But we know how he welcomed the poor, how he welcomed the rejected, even prostitutes who were discriminated and ostracized. Jesus welcomed them with love. Everybody felt comfortable around Jesus. He healed the sick, cast out demons, and comforted the troubled with good news. But today, he hangs on the cross like a criminal, naked, disfigured, and abandoned by his own apostles. Why did he subject himself to all this? Jesus was God after all. He could have just stayed in heaven and enjoyed himself. Why did he come here to die this way? Brothers and sisters, Jesus did all these things. He subjected himself to this cruelty because he loved us. He sacrificed his glories, his joys, and his honor for our sake. In the gospel of yesterday, Holy Thursday, in John chapter 13, verses 1 to 15, Jesus was washing the feet of his apostles. He was their king and their master, yet he washed their feet. Afterwards he said to them, I have given you an example to follow. You too must wash one another's feet. From all these things, we learn three things: love, sacrifice, and service. Love, sacrifice, and service. And these three things are the things I wish to implement during this lockdown. The lockdown has been extended. The aim is to protect life. And protecting life is God's will. Jesus himself says, I am the resurrection and the life. If therefore you believe in God, if you value Christ, support this lockdown from your heart. Remember this, our bishops support the decision of the president. Therefore, this is no longer the decision of the state. It is also the decision of the church. It is our decision. Therefore, make a personal decision to support life, to support Jesus, who is the resurrection and the life, by respecting this lockdown. Let this lockdown be a personal choice that you make. I know it is not easy. It is challenging and difficult. But this is where we, like Christ, are called to sacrifice. Jesus sacrificed by dying on the cross. We are not called to sacrifice by dying, but only by being at home, staying at our homes. Whenever you feel challenged by the lockdown, think about the greater sacrifice Jesus did for you. Number 2, Jesus loved us so much that he came onto the earth, worked for us, taught us, and died for us on the cross. He says to us, wash each other's feet, meaning serve each other, help each other, support each other. I was touched that the president of the country, who is not even a pastor, he and his cabinet are going to contribute 1/3 of their salaries to the Solidarity Fund in order to help against the coronavirus pandemic. The question is, what do you do yourself? What do I do myself? Do you think about how to help others, or do you only think about yourself? We are Christians. Our call is for love and sacrifice. Honestly speaking, we cannot be overtaken by people who are not even believers. I invite all of us to live our Christian life fully. Let us contribute to the life of others during this challenging time. Let us bring hope and smile on the depressed, the poor, and the deprived. Do something for somebody. Share your resources. Share your money. Do something for somebody. Contribute to the Solidarity Fund or to any other person who is in need. It is time to stop thinking about myself. It is time when selfishness must fall. Move beyond yourself. Show your true colors as a Christian. Be ready to give. Be ready to sacrifice. Be ready to serve. This is what Christianity is about. Christianity is not about how many times you go to Mass. It is not about the number of prayers you do privately. It is not about how well you sing during Mass or services. It is not how well you dress on Sunday. It is about love, sacrifice, and service. It is about love, sacrifice, and service. Lastly, whatever happens, whatever the future holds, do not despair. Today Jesus hangs naked on the cross, but tomorrow he rises in glory. At this time of uncertainty, we are also hanging on the cross, but we do not hang like those who have no faith. We hang in hope for resurrection. Easter is a reminder of victory. Those who killed Jesus believed they had conquered. For them it was impossible for Jesus to rise. But what is impossible for man is possible for God. Do not despair. Victory is sure to come. In hope we stand, because He who is in us is greater than the virus that is in the world. Therefore, do not despair. No matter what you see, no matter what you hear, hold on to Christ who resurrected, for He who resurrected is in you. And therefore we hang there in hope that we too shall conquer. We too shall resurrect. We too shall overcome. God bless you.